Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be making some fermented hot sauce. And I figured I would do this video to encourage you as to different ways to preserve your peppers. Uh, the beginning of the growing season is here, and you guys are encouraged to grow your own food. And this is just an idea of how I preserve my peppers, which I eat them fresh year long, but at the same time, I preserve a lot of my peppers is through fermentation. And this is how I ferment throughout the year. See, I got 2 jars here, different peppers. I will be doing a video midsummer when my peppers are ready, how to ferment peppers. And I'm telling you, the smell that's coming out of here, it smells fantastic. But this is just so you can see that how easy it is for you to make your own homemade hot sauce. This is my last bottle from last year. This was made with hot Portugal peppers and 2 ghost peppers. This is pretty hot, but it's delicious. And the recipe I'm going to show you today is exactly the same way I made this one. It tastes unbelievable. So let's go through the ingredients that you're going to need for this recipe. You're going to need 1 beer. I'll leave that aside for now. I usually like to use smoked paprika, but I don't have any at the moment. Paprika, we're going to use 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Of course, we have the fermented peppers. The smell, I can smell it. I haven't even opened it and I can already smell it. Look how nice that looks. Now, these have been fermenting since last year. These are last year's peppers. And the reason why you see different colors of peppers in there, it was because it was at the very, very end of the year. I didn't have enough of the same pepper. So I believe in here I'm using, from what I can tell, I'm using Hungarian hot wax. I'm using hot cherry peppers, sweet banana peppers, and I think that's about it. But that just shows you can mix. Don't think that just because you only have 1 pepper of one kind or 2, that, oh, what am I going to do with just 2 peppers? You can certainly mix all of them and ferment them. And that's what I did. This jar is the same. It's all different mixed peppers in there, as you can see. I use is a half of a white onion. I would prefer red, but I don't have red. So I'm using half of a big white onion and 5 cloves of garlic. Gotta have that garlic. I also put in there is one of these packages. Adds great color and great flavor. One of these little Goya packages. Good stuff. So now, the reason why I have this little bottle here is xanthan gum. And I want to show you the difference. You don't have to use this if you don't have it. By all means, you don't have to go spending money to do this if you don't have this. I have this is because I do make a lot of hot sauces. So xanthan gum. And the reason why I have this is because of this. I'm going to show you an example. Last year, I made these two hot sauces at the same time. Can you see that? See how this one is thick? Well, it's actually not too thick, but you see how it's solid? And this one, you see where it separates? Right here? Well, that's because the solid matter and the vinegar and water base have separated. That's where xanthan gum comes in. If you add xanthan gum, it will keep it solid like this. But don't worry about that. This is just as good. All you do, you shake it up before you use it, and there you go. Everything is mixed in. See? They're both solid now. So don't feel the need or discouraged that, oh, I don't have xanthan gum, I'm not going to make hot sauce. You don't need this. There you go. I use this one is strictly for like seafood. This is a lemon balm. It has a pretty good kick. It's absolutely delicious as well. So we got that out of the way. You're also going to need vinegar. 5% simple, 5% distilled white vinegar. You're going to need 2 cups of that. And for this recipe, 1 cup of water. But the water we're going to use is not going to be tap water, it's not going to be well water, it's not going to be bottled water. What do you think is in there? You see that water? Can't beat it. There's so much flavor in there. We are not going to throw this water away because we're going to use it. So 2 cups of vinegar and 1 cup of water. So now that we have the ingredients, let me show you the next process. All right, we got the first jar open. Hope you can see that. Let me back you up a little bit. The smell is unbelievable. We want to save this water. We want to remove our weight, our fermentation weight, put that to the side. Oh, the smell is incredible. I mean, look at that. These peppers have been fermenting for a year, literally a year and a half. It was since last summer. Look at that. They're beautiful. So I'm going to add them to our bowl. Just like that. And look at that water. That's pure fermented water. Can't beat that. All right, let's open our next jar. And I mean, guys, I'm not making this up. This has literally been fermenting for 1 year. And I will show you in the future how to ferment the way I do. Okay, we want to get our fermentation weight out. Oh, I wish you could smell that. See, that's what I'm telling you. See the different peppers? This was at the end of the year. I had all different, 2 of this, 2 of that. I just fermented the whole thing. See, that's hot Portugals. you can't beat that pepper. Trust me, you can't beat that pepper. So we'll add that to our bowl and we'll go on to the next step. Right, so now we got our fermented peppers in the oven. And not in the oven, I'm sorry, in the stove. I have my blender here. You're also going to need a blender. And I can't find the measuring cups because my whole kitchen has been redone and my wife has an amazing way to find nooks and crannies in this house to hide stuff that it takes me like 6 months to figure out where everything is all over again. But anyway, so I'm using my blender here, and that's 2 cups of white distilled vinegar. You want to put that in. Now we need 1 cup of water. We're going to use the fermented water. 1 cup. There we go. 1 cup of fermented water. So now we turn it on. And we're going to add 1 tablespoon of paprika. And I'm just going to measure it because I've been doing it for so long that I pretty much know what 1 spoon of paprika is. That's about that. We're going to add our onions and our garlic. And this adds a lot of flavor. We're going to add 1 of the Goya packets, just 1. Trust me, you gotta have this. Now you just give it a good mix, let everything blend itself in. So far it's pretty simple, right guys? Maybe I should have used a bigger pot, but I think this will be alright. Alright, so I'm not going to leave you here just watching me stir a thing. What we're going to do now is we're going to let this come to a boil, like totally a boil, which should take about 10 minutes. After it comes to a boil, we're going to reduce the heat to very low for about 5 minutes. Then it's done. We're not cooking these peppers because they're already fermented. What we're doing is, instead of blending them cold and then putting into the pot, I prefer to do it all while they're whole, then putting them into the blender while they're hot. So we're going to let this come to a boil, then we're going to lower it down to simmer, and I'll show you the next step. Alright guys, you see how it's come to a rolling boil? Now you want to just simmer it now for about just simmer it for about 5 minutes. The smell is unbelievable. You guys wouldn't believe the smell that's in here. Let it simmer for 5 minutes. We'll come back for the next step. Alright, so it's been simmering for 5 minutes. So now comes the next step, is the blending step. Now, one thing I didn't mention is everything you're going to use in this process needs to be 100% washed, cleaned, and sterilized. I didn't mention that at the beginning. This has all been washed. Um, it's all clean, sterilized. It's very important. Your bottles, your funnels, everything you're going to use needs to be sterilized because you want shelf life. You don't want anything growing in there. So take that extra step. Even though there's vinegar in it, doesn't matter. Make sure everything is clean and sterilized, which I use Star Sand to sterilize everything. I wash it really good with soap and water, and then I spray it with Star Sand sterilizer. So this is all clean. Your hands have to be clean as well. Don't think for a second that you can touch this stuff with your hands, and make sure they're clean. So the next step we're going to do is time for the blending. Now I like to blend it is when it's still a little bit hot, because if it's at room temperature, if it's just cold, then it's going to get thick, and I don't want it too thick. So I put into the blender is when it's still hot, you know, not boiling, but it's hot, as you can see. So let's do it. Wow, look at that. I'm already making a mess. All right. You see how those pieces fell on the counter? I'm not going to throw them in the blender. They fell on the counter. I didn't wash my counter, so I don't trust it. Away they go. But I got to clean this mess before my wife gets home and kills me. All right. So the next step, here comes the xanthan gum. Remember we spoke earlier, there's a lot of liquid in here. I don't want the solids in this sauce to break away from the liquid. So this is where the xanthan gum comes in. That again, this is just optional. I use 1/4 teaspoon for this amount. See that? Just 1/4 teaspoon. That's going to make sure that everything combines together and stays together. So let's blend it up. We're going to start off slowly because there is a lot of liquid. This is pretty full. I don't want it to explode, so be careful. So we're going to start out slowly. We're going to do a blend. We're going to start off on blend. Look at that. We're making hot sauce. Not difficult, is it? And let me tell you, the smell, let's jump it up to a brine. I'm sorry, liquefied. Trust me, you make this recipe, you won't regret it. What do you think? Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, ooh. The smell is unbelievable. That's a lot of hot sauce. We'll talk at the end how much it cost to make this hot sauce. Let me prepare for the next step so I don't bore you guys with setting up. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to set up the next step, but that's a lot of hot sauce. So hold on. Alright, so the next step is there was seeds inside of the ferment that I did. In this sauce, I don't specifically want seeds, so I have to sift it. So I'm going to sift it into a bowl, and I'll show you a little bit of the way, because this video is getting a little bit too long. But we're going to sift this, and this is how I do it. I am making a mess. If my wife was here, she would kill me. Here, have a look at that. See all that sauce in there? Here, let me push you back a little bit. You just want to work it in there. Get rid of those seeds. Just like that. Look at that. Now at this point, if you think it's too thick, you can certainly add more vinegar or more of that water from the jars if you didn't use it all, or you can just add more water, period. I wouldn't recommend chlorinated water. I would recommend bottled water. And that's about it. There ain't many seeds left. All right. I gotta clean up as I go along, because if I don't, then I always like to clean up as I go along. I'd rather clean a little mess than wait till the end and clean a big mess. So cleaning a little mess at a time is much better than cleaning a big mess. So there's our hot sauce. See that? Now it's time to bottle. So let me get that set up, and we're going to do the bottling process. I'll show you exactly how I do it. All right, our hot sauce is done, and now it's time to bottle it. And this is the way I do it. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but this is the way I do it. I got a little funnel that fits right over the bottle. I like to do it just like this. It's got the perfect consistency that I wanted. That perfect. we go. The smell is unbelievable. But I haven't tasted it yet. We'll do that in the closing of the video. Alright, I'm going to finish filling these up and we'll do the closing of the video. Alright guys, we are done. We ended up with 8.5 bottles of hot sauce. That quick, that simple. Just to show you a way that you can preserve your peppers. Just because you're not going to eat them all fresh, this is just an example. I mean, that's 8.5 bottles of your own homemade hot sauce. Use my recipe. You will like it. You see this one here? This is a great hot sauce. Fantastic. You know how much this costs? My wife buys this, I believe it's $2.99 at the store. Great hot sauce, $2.99. It's fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. You know how much it costs you to make this hot sauce? All of these? Probably grow the peppers, fertilizer, probably $5. $5. Alright, so now let's taste my hot sauce. Now these are not a specific pepper. These were all mixed different peppers. But let's taste it. Look at that. That's a nice little scoop. Mmm. Mmm. Ooh. Wow. It's got, the heat comes in, is way at the end. The first thing I get immediately is the garlic and the vinegar. And the heat is very mild and going down the throat. Very mild, lingers in the mouth just a little bit. Yeah, that's a hit. That's a hit right there. You gotta try this, guys. It's so simple. A great, ooh, wow. It lingers, the heat lingers at the very back end, but it's not a burning lingering. It's a, you know, you're eating pepper lingering. It's fantastic. Alright guys, I've been blabbing on long enough. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. This is just a way to show you what you can get from growing your own food. Or you can pay $3 for this bottle, or you can pay $5 for all of these. You decide. Alright, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, click the like button, and if you think somebody that's not following my channel can use this to help them in anyhow, share the video. Alright. You guys have a good one.